Are we
Fraser.
on?
Are you ready?
We're on, man.
Fraser Grut, welcome to my podcast.
What up, man?
It's so good to have you here. First of all, who is Fraser Grut?
Who am I? My goodness. Well, I'm a 30-year-old Kiwi dude that is just on a crazy life mission of capturing the dreams of 10,000 humans. I'm 2,080 dreams in, and I'm just a guy that found the thing I was born to do, and I'm just 100% all in, man, chasing it.
You're the founder. So it started off being 1,000 dreams.
It was 365 dreams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man, it was just for one year. That was the goal.
No, when did I first meet you?
You were in that
at like an Edge Fest thing. Was it 365 dreams at that point?
Yeah, but it does in 2017. No, it was 365, and then I jumped to 10,000, which kind of shocked everyone in my life when I did that.
Which makes me think you're so addicted to this that you're going to keep going. So when you get to 10,000, there'll be something else.
I don't know if my wife will let me keep going, man, but I think it'd be incredible if maybe it carried on with a number of filmmakers. You know, maybe get to like 1 billion dreams or something in the next 1,000 years.
Oh, amazing. Like, so almost like a franchise or something.
Imagine that, man, if I had like 1,000 filmmakers doing this every day or something around the world.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Yeah,
it's been really cool and really inspiring to. Yeah, as you said, I met you in 2017.
Yeah, man.
So it's like 7 years ago, very early in the journey. And what was my dream then?
It was something about Aspirations, who was I don't know if she's still a big singer or not, but she had a song in like 2017 that popped. It was, I don't know, for Aspirations to like you or something. I'm pretty sure we have.
Yeah, okay. So you were just sort of roaming around this Edge Fest concert.
Ran up to you. Yeah.
That we had on, and I don't know. I suppose it was like the intention from my part would have been to give you like a funny
Yes,
dream, a funny
absolutely.
answer. And then you caught up with me a couple of weeks ago. We reconnected. And I think I gave you a more thoughtful answer.
Oh, 100%.
And I thought about that after you left. And obviously, you know, everyone goes through a lot of personal growth in the space of 7 years. But I think for me, giving you a more respectful answer is probably a reflection of the time and effort you've put into this project.
Do
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a dude running around a concert with a camera, with a film project he's doing for a year, you give that sort of person a different time of day to a person that's been doing this thing for 7 years, and it's like, oh, fuck, this guy's legit.
Well, I've noticed that, man. I think the first year or two, I got a lot more silly answers, and I got a lot more one-word answers, like, oh, my dream's to be rich, or... Whereas now when I put the camera on people and I say, what's your dream? Some of these conversations go longer than an hour. And I've totally noticed that, man. It's been a really weird shift that just happened gradually over time. But yeah.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying watching that. Because there'll be a lot of people that are engaging with this podcast now that they're hearing about this for the first time. And they'll have no idea about the 10,000 Dreams project. There'll be a lot of people that are familiar with you, but it's it's been cool watching the evolution. How it's gone from almost like like a reel or a TikTok to almost being like a sort of form of podcasting in a way.
Totally, man. That was never the intention. I was lucky enough to be filming Mila Kunis' dream earlier this year. And that was the first time the convo ever went longer than like a couple of minutes. And it became like a 40-minute podcast. And it kind of hit me. I was like, why the heck is this not a podcast? And it's kind of now evolved into one. But dude, I never could have foreseen everything this was not my life plan at all, bro. This was just a bet with a mate that I did for 1 year. Somehow it became my life mission, but dude, I am so lucky that I honestly feel so blessed that this is what I get to do.
It's cool. And you, by the way, I think we were 3 minutes into it when you dropped Mila Kunis' name.
I'm sorry. That was not meant to be a name drop.
But I think, and there's a lot of like massive, you've done over 2,000 dreams. A lot of them are just like normal people, school
100%.
kids. But there's been a lot of like big celebrities as well. And we'll get into that. But I think, obviously regular people are easier to get on than the big celebrities, but I think the big celebrities you're getting on, they're doing that because of the power of your vision and the work and the care and attention that you're putting into this. So it's a credit to you.
Wow.
So We're recording this on a Monday. You spent the weekend in the Gold Coast chasing dreams.
Yes, bro. Yeah, man. Me and my wife and my cinematographer Sash went to Brisbane. Went over there to film the Irwin's dreams, and also ended up at Cody Simpson's house on the Gold Coast as well. So,
okay, so you went to Australia Zoo?
Yes. Yep. Had like an hour conversation with them. Just insane, man. Like if I had a top 10 in like Dead or Alive in history, Steve Irwin would have been at the top of my list. And I asked Terry and Robert, I said, if I was sitting in front of Steve right now and I went, what's your dream? What would his answer be? And I'm going to do a Steve Irwin dream video too. It was special, man. I can't tell you how much of a hero that dude is for me. Oh, and his family is incredible, man. Like, we could have chatted for hours. They literally had to be dragged out by the PR team. We just kept going, man. We could have chatted for 3 hours.
So was there Terry and
Robert. So last minute, Bindi had something else that popped up. But I'll go back and film Bindi.
What were their dreams?
Oh, dude. Well, I'll tell you one line that Robert said was, my dream is to carry on my dad's dream.
He's doing that.
He's doing that, man. It was just beautiful, man. It was in that moment, that conversation with them, where it was almost like, I've done this for 8 years, and it was almost like everything had led up to that moment with them where I was like, this is where I was meant to be. Like, I was born to do this, and it was just so fun, man. Like, people talk about flow state. I felt like that conversation was a bit of a flow state.
Oh, mate, how good.
It was so good.
How did that come back? Like, run us through the process of, locking in something like that.
Well, look, man, like, cold emails, they work. And I cold emailed the Irwin's team in 2020, and it was a pass because of COVID and everything. And I just sent a cold email a couple of months ago, and it came back straight away being like, yep, let's do this. And they said, we'll tee up a Zoom call. And I said to them, I was like, look, I'll pay to fly over to Australia Zoo to do this one. And they were down for it, man. And like, it's getting a lot easier to tee up people, you know?
Why is that?
I think because it's gone on so long now, and I've been so lucky to have teed up some incredible big names as well. And I think people just trust it a lot more. Like I think the hardest thing is getting that first celebrity, because people don't really trust it until, oh, Ashton Kutcher's done it. Oh yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then suddenly it snowballs and it becomes, so it's a lot easier than it was, man. I don't think I would have got the Irwins 4 or 5 years ago at all.
Yeah, I suppose if you're the Irwins PR team and there's this email and it says, oh, I've had, Steve-O, Tony Hawke, Israel Adesanya, Ashton Kutcher.
It gets a lot
well, if it's good enough,
bro, the hardest thing was when I started and I was reaching out to people and I'm like, I'm doing this thing, 10,000 days, it's my life mission. And they're like, wow, how long have you done it for? And I'm like, 2 weeks. And they're like, all right, cool, man. And like, it was probably until I got to like 1,000 dreams that I feel like it shifted a little bit. But that first year was so tough, man. I had to beg everyone. I had to beg my family and friends to film their dreams. Like the first month was just family and friends because I couldn't get anyone on board.
You're pushing shit uphill if you have to beg to get your family.
I literally forced my brother in front of the camera, and he's probably still pissed at me about it.
Yeah, my dream is for Fraser to fuck off and leave me alone.
I think he said my dream is for Fraser to leave me alone. I'm pretty sure that's part of what he said. So you're over in the Sunshine Coast, or to go to the Australia Zoo. Then how did you end up with Cody Simpson? I just DM'd him on Sunday night, and I was like, dude, I'm in Gold Coast tomorrow night. Are you free? And he came back within a few hours and was like, yep. He's like, I watched Terry Cruz's dream. It's awesome. Let's do it. And went and spent an hour and a half at his house, which
amazing. For anyone that doesn't know, Cody Simpson, he's a fantastic swimmer. He just missed out on making the Australian Olympic team for Paris, but he's won a Commonwealth medal, eh?
I'm pretty sure he won gold at the Commonwealth 2 years ago.
Yeah, but also like a teen pop. I don't know if it was Nickelodeon or Disney, but he was sort of came up with Justin Bieber. Totally. He used to be in early episodes of the Kardashians. Was he seeing one of the?
Oh, he was dating Kylie. Kylie
Jenner. Yeah. Like way back in the day. So he used to be on episodes of the Kardashians when Caitlyn was still Bruce.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't think I was watching it back then, man.
Yeah, no, but he's a massive stone. He's been around forever. So also you just DM on
literally, man. Like I never DM people. I always figured they're never gonna see it, but for some reason I felt like DMing Cody Simpson, and it happened, man. It's actually wild. I mean, I was a huge Cody Simpson fan growing up. My wife came with me, and she was like peak Cody Simpson fangirl. So it was just awesome, man. And it's just cool that people welcome us into their house, and it honestly, it feels so natural now. I feel so lucky that I don't really get starstruck or nervous anymore too, which I think relaxes people, you know.
So you go into his house?
Yeah, man. Just rock up, 6:30, and then we sit by the swimming pool and we have a 40-minute chat on camera. And such a cool dude, man. He's a very inspiring guy. The fact that he transitioned from being a pop star to a professional swimmer at 24, I'm pretty sure, it's just like unheard of. Yeah.
And what was his dream?
It was a 40-minute chat, man. So we talked about multiple things. So the funny thing is, like, it used to be way easier when people asked me, like, oh, what was so-and-so's dream? It used to be way easier because most people only chatted for like 10 seconds, you know? But now most of the conversations, you know, even our conversation, it went on for like 10 minutes. But it's so much richer, man. I'm so, like, I'm so curious. So without the cameraman, if I was at a party or an event, I would be asking people what their dreams are anyway. Like, it's actually, my passion is talking to people about dreams. I genuinely love it, man. That's why I feel like I've never worked doing this. Like it's obviously been a lot of hard work, but it's never felt like hard work.
But it's a passion project though. So you're not monetizing it. You're not making.
No, not at all.
Do you want to? Do you want to have?
I'm getting to that point now, man, where I'm trying to build it up I'm developing a docuseries at the moment. Me and my wife are trying to move to LA. We're going in a couple of days for 2 months. But, you know, it's opened up so many doors. Like it led me to being a producer on a Wiggles documentary that Amazon bought a couple of years ago. And that's all because I filmed their dreams in 2019, you know, something that I never would have foreseen at all. And so in terms of connections and doors opening, this project's just been unreal, man.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, so you filmed you met the Wiggles to get them for the 10,000 Dreams project, and then as a result of that, and the relationship all the connection that you made, then you got the documentary's on Amazon Prime. Like it's
came out in October. Yeah, man, it was so weird. Like I kind of had a relationship with them for a couple of years, and then they asked me to come down to Christchurch at the start of 2021 to film a music video with them and Richie McCaw. And at first I said no because I had a church thing on that Sunday. But then I called my mum and she was like, dude, go down to Christchurch. What was the church thing? It was like a church getaway thing. And I was like, nah, I want to go to that. And my mum was like, dude, go. And also part of it was I've been turned down by Richie McCaw's team like 8 times. So I was like, oh, this is probably my shot. And then I spend the day with the Wiggles and Richie McCaw in Christchurch. And then the next day I was editing it with my editor. And it was super grungy, and it looked like a Wiggles trailer for a documentary. And I literally turned to my editor and I said, dude, it looks like a trailer for a Wiggles documentary. So we Googled Wiggles documentary, and we found out there was no Wiggles documentary. So I literally just sent Anthony, the main blue Wiggle, an email saying, can I make a doco on you? And he came back straight away on my 27th birthday and was like, many people have tried over the years, but if you do it, we'll make it happen. And it just literally overnight, I was making a Wiggles documentary that kind of became my main thing for like 2.5 years.
And who banked? Did they pay for it, or did you say I'll make this and then try and sell it, or what happened?
Well, I partnered up with a company in New Zealand called Augusto that did a Richie McCaw documentary, and a company called Sam in Sydney, and then Amazon bought it in 2022, and then it was released on Amazon October last year. It's crazy, man. I never could have. Like literally, it was just having an idea, sending an email, and overnight I was doing this thing.
Yeah, because so much of your personal time and personal energy must go into this 10,000 Dreams project. What is your main source of income? Like you're a family man, right?
Yes, married man. Been married for 1.5 years. Look, I mean, the Wiggles doco gave me and my wife a lot of breathing room, and we've been very fortunate in other areas too. And I'm a filmmaker, and so I kind of had a little bit of a directing, kind of smaller commercials and corporate stuff before this. But honestly, man, we're just 100% all in, and we're just We're just going for it. We don't have kids. We don't have a mortgage. We've got nothing to lose.
I love this. Is this your faith that you just know that everything's going to be all right? Man. God's going to figure shit out.
Yep, this is what I'm meant to be doing.
I love it.
And it's always opened up, man. Like there's been so many ridiculous. Like I don't know. Like recently, like when we were booking this 2-month trip to America, and we kind of just booked tickets and went. We trust it's all going to work out. We didn't have really anything planned out. And then all of a sudden, a mate in LA was like, "I need someone to house sit for 6 weeks." And then I submitted for this like Shark Tank thing, and I ended up winning a very decent amount of money. That's kind of covered the entire trip, and everything just worked out. But
what's the Shark Tank thing?
It's so this is some Christian film group called Salt Media. And they had this competition where you submitted for a film project, and you had to pitch in front of judges and everything. And I ended up winning the thing. And honestly, man, the main thing is just book the ticket. And that's been the story of everything crazy that's happened. Is just I've booked the ticket, and it's all just gone from there, man.
Just jump in the ocean, then figure out how to
literally
swim.
100%.
So I'm not sure when this episode's going to come out, but we can hold it off. Is there anyone that you've got locked in the States that you're going to?
Yes, I've now got man. I'll say a couple of people. I'm doing Akon's dream.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, I would say we're also going to London afterwards. I'm doing Piers Morgan.
Oh, incredible!
And we've got a bunch of other, some people I won't say yet, but people are starting to line up, man. It's just...
Well, you don't want to say because you're scared you're going to jinx it, or...
I think some people I'll just be a little bit more private with until I've filmed it. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Like half the time it just happens. Like I'll show up in LA and all of a sudden I'll be filming so-and-so. So I'm excited, man. Big stuff's going to happen.
That's so cool. Okay, well, let's talk about you. So what were your dreams, or what was your dream when you started this, and what is it now?
Yeah, man.
Because I think, you must have found this with people that you've had on double or multiple times, like myself. Your dreams change all the time.
Always, man. Well, when I started this, bro, I was so selfish. I was 22. My dream was to win an Oscar and be the next Peter Jackson. And I just wanted to be a famous filmmaker. And, dude, my whole life was just about me and my dreams. Like, I was so selfish. And this project totally transformed me. And now my dream is just to help the world dream. Like this, if you told me at like 18 that I would be doing this and my dream was just about helping others dream, I would not. I honestly, I would have thought I had failed. I thought I would be one of the greatest filmmakers of all time by the age of 30, you know? And it's just, I don't know, man. I just learned that there's nothing more important than helping other people dream. The most happy I've ever felt is when I'm with someone and we're talking about dreams and I get to encourage them. And like, honestly, like I've been lucky to have achieved some cool stuff and been in incredible situations, but nothing's more fulfilling than helping other people dream. But yeah, ever since I was 7 years old, man, I was going to be the next Peter Jackson.
Yeah. What would you say is the difference between like a dream and a goal? Or is it kind of, can it be the same sort of thing, really?
I think it can be, man. But I think a dream is, I went away. I filmed the dream of an astronaut called Chris Hadfield in 2019. And he talked about having a moonshot dream. And when he was a kid, his moonshot dream was to walk on the moon. And he always knew that was probably never going to happen. But because his dream was so far over here, it kind of made him go, well, if I'm going to walk on the moon, what do I need to read today? What do I need to eat? How do I need to exercise? What do I need to study? And all those steps led to him being the first Canadian astronaut to ever go to space. But he never walked on the moon, but it got him to space. And so I think having a dream, it's like having that Everest that's like, I will get to that point at some point in my life, even if it's impossible. And I feel like goals are more short-term, attainable. Like my goal this year is to start a podcast or something. But my dream in life would not be to start a podcast. My dream in life is to change, to help the entire planet dream. And for dreaming to become a part of everyday conversation. And that's a huge dream. And that may never happen, but that massive goal is going to allow me and force me to do all these little steps,
Yeah, and I like how the question makes you contemplate and think about things. Because it's easy just to say, I I don't know, I want to be rich, or I want to have a boat, or whatever. But if you pause and reflect and think about it for less than a minute, you can you come up with a far deeper answer than that.
100%, man. I even kind of experienced it when I started this project. I wrote out a list of 5 impossible people to film. And on that list was Justin Bieber, Steven Spielberg, Roger Federer, J.K. Rowling, and Elmo on Sesame Street. And they were kind of my 5 big dreams for this project. And I was lucky enough to film Elmo's dream on Sesame Street, August last year. And I was like, this is the height. Like, I've now living out one of these dreams. And honestly, the next day, I was miserable. I was like, I bombed it. That wasn't what I envisioned. I was awkward. Why was I wearing that outfit? And I just totally felt like I failed the whole thing. It's because my dream was wrong, man. That was probably more of a goal than a dream. You almost, in a way, you almost want it to be that you could never attain your dream. Because the worst thing is when you actually wake up the next day and you go, I kind of did what I kind of did what I set out to do. And it's like, what now? I kind of hit a massive wall, man.
Also, why were you worried about your outfit? Elmo was naked.
Dude, that's a great point. It's amazing. Do you ever do that when you watch back and you're like, damn, my hair looked terrible. Why didn't I shave? Oh, I should have.
No, for me, it's other things. Like I'll do a podcast, like this chat that we're having now. Later on this afternoon, I'll go out for a run and I'll be thinking about things that I didn't ask you that I should have asked you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a live flowing conversation. So you're not gonna. Yeah, it's very easy to think of things in hindsight, but it's a flowing conversation, so you
absolutely.
just can't do that. Also, out of those 5 on your dream list, Elmo was the low-hanging fruit, right? Is it just one person that does the voice, or are there numerous people around the world?
It's been the same guy since like 2012, I think.
Oh, okay.
So it's been 2 dudes that have done it since the beginning. But that was so wild, man. I literally flew to Melbourne for 10 minutes just to film Elmo's dream, then flew back home.
How much... I mean, you put so much personal time into this. How much money do you think you put into it?
Oh, a lot, man.
Just I hate to think.
Not a lot, man.
Yeah.
More than 100 plus K. Easy, man. But I never have I ever regretted spending a cent on this, man. It's hard to explain. This is just my mission in life. Like, I would do absolutely anything for this mission, man. And the best thing is having my wife be a part of it now. And we do all the dreams together. We travel together. I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to do anything else.
Yeah. So have you been married twice? No.
Yes. Yeah, man. I did go through a divorce when I was 25.
Yeah. Because I listened to some other podcasts over the weekend that you've done previously.
Yeah.
So, so you started this in December 2016. That was the birth of 1,000 Dreams. Started as a bet with your mate Logan.
Yes.
And then you... Yeah, so when we met in this time somewhere and you were going to do it every day for a year, you end up doing like every damn day for 5 years.
5 years, man.
Without fail.
Oh, dude, 1,819 days in a row. Oh, dude, and I was going to do every day for 10,000 days, which was 27 and a half years. And I was stubborn about it too, and I was public about it, and I felt trapped. And I kind of trapped myself because no one else put that pressure on me to do it. But I felt like I kind of owed it to everyone to do. But I just fizzled out, man. And honestly, the moment, like, I kind of went before the end of that 5 years, there was probably a 2-month period where I was just a shell of a man. And I was so low. I had anxiety whenever I met someone to film their dream. It was destroying me. And then one of my close mates, who was a really well-known young entrepreneur in New Zealand, I literally then found out one day that he took his life. And he was someone I always looked up to. And had worked alongside and always was like, I want to be like him. And when he passed away, it just literally rattled me to be like, that is not going to be me. I'm not going to allow myself, mental health-wise, to get to that point. And I quit the next day. And it just happened to be 5 years on the dot when I quit. And I was done. Like, I told everyone I'm taking a little bit of a sabbatical for a couple of months, but I was done. And I quit for like 15 months. And I was never, ever going to do it again. Until one morning last year in March, I woke up and I just felt like woke up going, I feel like I have to do this again. And then I spent the next month basically saying no, and I just was so reluctant to pick it up again. And I'm like, no one's going to care if I do it again. And thank goodness I started it again, bro. But now it's not every day. Now it's like a life. a life goal, but everything that's kind of blown my mind that's happened with this journey has happened since picking it up again.
Well, I suppose that, one of the many good things about it is it's your dream and your vision that other people are buying into. So anytime you want to stop, you can, and you won't be letting anyone else down. So the only pressure you feel is pressure, I guess, that you're putting on yourself. Strange how we do that to ourselves.
Oh, bro, I'm the worst at that, man. I am my worst critic.
Same here.
Oh, man.
Same here. My inner voice is terrible at times.
Yep.
It's just savage. I'm an asshole to me. I'll be nice to everyone. There's parallels with you and me. Like, I'll be nice to everyone else. I'll save my worst behaviour for the internal stuff.
You're preaching, man.
So, your first celebrity that's Art Green?
Yeah, day number 1, man. I happened to be meeting him the day after the bet was made. And I was like, dude, I'm doing this thing for 1 year. Yeah, we laugh about it now, man. I've seen him many times since, and it's kind of just so random. It was just so casual, like, oh, can I just ask you what your dream is on camera? And I had no idea what this was going to be, man. Like, but that's how you start, man. You just start. And you don't, like, if I had I started the next day after that bet. If I had waited a week and thought about it, no way I would have done it. I would have talked myself out of it. I had family members and friends trying to talk me out of it when I started it, but I kind of started and I was like, no, I've locked in for 1 year. And then it just evolves, man. Like, everything about us just evolved.
Why did family members and friends try and talk you out of it? It seems fairly simple. Like, you could even just go up to, at that point early on, like when you had the seed of the idea, you could literally just go up to someone in the mall, right, and ask them.
Exactly.
It's very easy. You could do it on your phone. It'd be very easy. 2 minutes a day.
Yeah, well, I think because I was a filmmaker, I always wanted that craft still. So I always brought the camera, the boom, and I'd always edit it and everything. But I think people were just confused about why I was doing it because it kind of came out of nowhere. I remember my dad was always said to me when I started, he's like, I just don't get it. He's like, I just don't get it. And it was probably maybe a year in or something before, like, I started to see him being like, okay, I think I get this now. And now it's like, oh man, massive supporter. And it's just, but that always drove me in a weird way. I feel like that drove me, Dad being like, I just don't get it. But I don't know why I stuck at it, man. There's been so many things in my life, like going to the gym where I go for like 2 weeks and then I just quit. I don't know why I stuck at this.
If you got that passion, I guess, eh? And then, and then you get momentum. And I suppose like like the Wiggles thing you were talking about, like, doors open where you didn't even know there was potential to be a door.
Oh, momentum is everything, man.
Yeah.
Because like the first 100, 200 days, there wasn't even passion yet at that point. It was just to prove Logan wrong, I don't know what point I started to grow more passion for it, but it's just been strange, man. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, bro. This is not the plan.
Where does the drive and persistence come from? In terms of, I'm guessing there's for all the success stories that we'll talk about in terms of like big stars you've had on.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's just as many, if not more, where people have just ignored you, or even worse, told you to back the fuck off.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Oh, 100%, man. I had a few months ago, I had a massive YouTuber who I will not say the name of because most people will know who it is, say, please do not email me again. And that whole day I was like bedridden. I was like, what have I done? And then you wake up the next day and you're like, okay, move on. You gotta be kind to yourself when those happen. But I've seen more.
Oh, that's so mean though, eh?
I know, it's pretty like,
how persistent were you?
I only sent 3 emails. Bro, like, there's been times where I've sent like 20 emails before someone's responded to me. I didn't even think I was that persistent with that person. But, like, I've seen more than 35,000 emails since I started this thing. And I have been turned down thousands of times. But I've also, been very lucky. My thing is, it's kind of every 100 emails, I'll get like 1 or 2 yeses. So
right. Oh, so you know that you're working on margins of like 2%.
The more I send, man, the more yeses I'll get. And it's also persistent. It's following up is absolute key. Like, do you know who Zane Lowe is?
Zane Lowe, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
I sent him, yeah, man. I sent him 15 cold emails this year and had never heard back. I'm just going to chase, follow up. And then when I was in LA 2 months ago and he called me, I was like, yeah, let's do it. This is awesome. But I was 15 cold emails.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's going to hate me. But I just kept going. I was like...
Do you think part of it is, there's that saying, the squeaky wheel gets the oil? Like, someone like Zamo's like, fuck, I'll rip the Band-Aid off.
I think people do just get out of here,
Get him done, then he can leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, and then I think when I show up and I've got a big smile, they're like, oh, okay, you're harmless.
Yeah,
you're not nice. You're not trying to use me or anything.
100%. Yeah, there's no hidden agenda. No. And I think there's that purity of it because you're not making any money out of it. You know what I mean? Like, there's...
100%.
Yeah. Man. There's something quite cool about that. Okay, so who have you done face-to-face in LA? That was who was your first real big star? Was that Ashton Kutcher?
That was probably the first like big
star.
And that was like after I picked it up again. So that was like 6.5 years in at that point. I've got different phases. Like I kind of started, Art Green, and then I was getting like, I got Mike King. And I remember at the start, like getting like Jono and Ben was like, holy crap. And I told the guy, I was like, I'm on Jono and Ben. This is crazy, man. And like on day 5, I filmed the dream of Carmel Cepoloni, who was just a
politician.
Yeah, she was a local MP at the time. And I was like, dude, it's never going to get bigger than a local MP. And then all of a sudden I did Jacinda, and then I did John Key, and then suddenly the Wiggles, and then Lydia Ko, and then suddenly you were doing people like Ronan Keating, and you're like, oh, I've done an American now. And then Ashton was like the first like, what the heck is going on here? And then that's now led to like Mila Kunis, Terry Crews, Tony Hawke. I was in T-Pain's hotel room in Vegas a few months ago. It's, Israel Adesanya, it's just crazy, man. Like,
So Ashton Kutcher, I've seen that clip online. So you because of the time zone difference, you're in a McCafe at like 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Why didn't you do it at home? Why McDonald's?
Well, when he got back, like I sent him a cold email. It was a total cold email. And when he came back, and then his assistant was teeing up the time, they're like, can you do 9 a.m. LA time? And I didn't want to tell them that it was 4 a.m. in New Zealand because I was scared that if I had said, can we change it? They would just go,
too hard basket.
You're too complicated, go away. So I just said yes. And look, there is a degree, like we've got a very small kind of loft apartment look, me and my wife. And I was like, it's pretty small, but I was like, but it's a better story if I go to McDonald's. Because then I just tell people I was at 4 a.m. at a McDonald's on a Zoom call with Ashton Kutcher. It's a way better story, man. I'd do anything for a good story.
So when you say you cold emailed, like how do you cold email? You just try ashton.kutcher@gmail?
Oh, well, I
won't. Some combinations?
I won't go into the whole email situation because I have got in trouble before. But honestly, man, cold emails work. I think a lot of people don't think they do, but it's shocking how far a cold email can go. Yeah, I literally forgot I cold emailed him. I think it was 3 weeks between me sending it and him responding. And I was having a low day. I was just watching YouTube at like 8 a.m. and I was just low. I was flat. I was like, what's going on with this thing? Where am I going? I was very lost at that point. And then all of a sudden I had an email pop up that said Ashton Kutcher. And I was like, what? I like totally forgot I had emailed him. And, dude, so much respect for that guy. He did not need to do it. Like, he didn't need to, man. And he gave me 20 minutes of his time as well. It was actually crazy. He said, going back to my Peter Jackson dream, I had held on to that my whole life, bro. It almost became an idol to me. I have to be Peter Jackson. I was almost not fulfilling who I was meant to be because I was holding on to this Peter Jackson dream. And I kind of said that to him, and I opened up a little bit. And he said to me, he's like, you'll only ever be the second best Peter Jackson, but you could be the best Fraser on the planet. And honestly, him saying that almost changed my life. And after that point, I almost let go of the Peter Jackson thing. And when I'm just going to embrace being Fraser and what I'm doing right here. And everything that's come has been since that moment. Yeah,
and Ashton Kutcher, he also compliments you on your email.
Yeah, I know.
What was the email?
Oh, dude.
Is it like a copy and paste?
I've got a template, but I kind of rework it based on who I'm reaching out to. Honestly, I looked on Google like late last year at like how to cold email, and I break every single rule that people say you should do. Like, I'm just myself. I'm like, yo, sub Tom Cruise. What up, bro? Let's frickin' do this, man. Emojis. Like, I'm just myself. I'm like, would I say this to him if I saw him? And I'm like, yeah. Then I'll send it. I never have said, dear so-and-so, kind regards. I'm just like, I always start with like, I hope you're having a badass week. Hope it's been epic, man. Like, and I think that stands out to people because it's so different. But it's
because
just
of
me.
the unprofessionalism in a
so
way.
Unprofessional, man. And I think there's probably some people that have been kind of offended by my emails, but genuinely, man, it seems to work.
Well, I like it. It's not a LinkedIn post you're writing, is it?
No,
it's,
no.
It's cool, and it obviously worked because, as I said, like he complimented you on your email. So I'm guessing Ashton Kutcher then led to his wife Mila Kunis.
Well, actually, man, after I filmed Ashton's dream, all my the boys were like, "Dude, did you ask him if you could film Mila's dream?" And I was like, "No, I didn't want to, cross the line and push my luck." And so I kind of sat on it for a little bit, and then I won't say how I got an email or anything, but then I just cold emailed her out of and then she got back to me going, "Yeah, my husband told me about this. Let's do it." And that was, I think, June last year. And it took maybe 9 months before I ended up at their house on Valentine's Day in Beverly Hills and spent the morning with them. It was...
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great video, and they've got a beautiful house.
Oh, my gosh, man. They're the coolest people in the world, bro. Oh, dude.
Are you sitting there completely in the moment, or do you have like little flashes where you stop listening to what she's saying and you're like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Not really, man. Like, honestly, I was shocked at how relaxed I felt because they were so welcoming.
Yeah.
We just walk in and... Ashton's just on his laptop in the corner and he's making soup in the kitchen, and then we just go and me and Mila have a chat for like 40 minutes. And then at one point it was us on a FaceTime call with Scooter Braun because they're good friends with Scooter Braun, and I'd filmed Scooter's dream last year. And you're just like, I think at that point it was kind of surreal. But honestly, man, it was just so crazy, bro. That whole week, like I literally had back-to-back days when I was in T-Pain's hotel room in Vegas. Then I was in Terry Cruz's office for an hour. And then I was with Ashton and Mila. Then I was filming Loud Stream by a swimming pool. And then it was just this like 3-4 day period where it was just outrageous, man. But when I booked the flight to LA, I had no one booked in. I just felt like I needed to go to LA and everything would line up. And it did.
Because in the email, what's the sales pitch? Are you saying 5 minutes of your time, 10 minutes of your time?
I say 30 seconds of your time.
Okay.
But now they kind of, naturally, it always becomes like 2 hours now. But you kind of go, I want to, like, you always got to say 30 seconds just to get in the door. And then if they're chill about it, you can kind of keep going. But the thing is, I could do it in 30 seconds. Like I filmed Elle Macpherson's dream, and I literally had 30 seconds to film her dream. So I can do it in 30 seconds, but it's definitely now evolved way longer.
Yeah, you definitely try and sort of make that a deeper connection.
100%, man. Yeah, I've gone away from like the quick what's your like I've kind of totally moved on from that now. I want the longer conversations.
A couple of names that you've mentioned. Israel Adesanya. You were sitting on his balcony with him. That was a long chat, eh?
That was like an hour conversation. That is one cool dude, bro. I had nothing prepped going into that. No questions. We just sat down on the balcony and we had this chat for an hour, man. It was so special. I actually filmed his dream in 2020 after training one day. And that was Israel, what's your dream? And it was like a 30-second answer. But this was just so awesome, man. Bro. I don't know how it happens, man.
And what about, you mentioned a couple of previous Prime Ministers, Jacinda Ardern and John Key.
Yes.
Any backstory there? It's notoriously hard to pin down a Prime Minister, eh? I think they're all very accommodating, but the people behind them, their offices are useless.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, I'm lucky, man. I've filmed 7 Prime Ministers now. So the only living Prime Minister I haven't filmed is Helen Clark. And I did end up at her family Christmas party in 2019. And I talked to her about it, and she wasn't comfortable filming it. But so, I mean, it's just, man, just persistence. That's it, man. Just keep following up. Like, just keep chasing. I think it helps that I'm not like asking for money or I'm asking for like 2 hours of someone's time. But honestly, man, you just got to be bold. And like, honestly, my thing is just have balls. Just show up, just knock on the door, just like the worst thing is regret. I'm 30 years old, and when I look back at my 20s, everything that I regret is when I didn't shoot my shot. That's the only time. Like, I once was, like, when I was doing 10,000 Dreams, I was at the domestic airport in Auckland, and all my camera gear was getting through the customs, and I turned around and James Cameron was behind me. And this is a guy I've looked up to since I was a kid and always wanted to film his dream. And I chickened out, and I didn't go up to him, and he was right behind me. And I regret that so much, man. It's the things you don't do that you regret. And the times I've shot my shot and have been kicked out of a room, I kind of just laugh about now, bro. Like, I've been to Massive Bridge with Rick Astley. I don't know if you know Rick Astley and the Never Gonna Give You Up song.
Yeah, of course. Everyone's been rickrolled.
I burnt a mess. I rickrolled myself on that one, man. I confirmed his dream when he was in Auckland in 2020, and I reached out to his wife about it and manager. And a couple of days before filming his dream, I announced it publicly, and I told everyone exactly how I got in touch with him. I guessed his wife's email, and I saw her number pop up, and then I WhatsApp messaged her, and then I don't know why the hell I did it, bro. I was just trying to be cool, I think, and go like, look at me, I got in touch. And then she saw the post. I didn't think she'd see the post. And that door slammed shut in my face. That was a wake-up call, man.
So you got the dream done?
No, I got it confirmed in the calendar for the Saturday, and on the Wednesday I announced it. I've never announced before filming a dream since that day.
Oh, for jinxing it. Is that why, like before when I asked about how you got Ashton Kutcher's email, you're like a little bit sort of guarded about it?
Yeah.
And you're also guarded about some of the upcoming...
Totally, man. Like, I think like, I've learned that you have to respect people. These are people that don't just say yes to everything. And they're giving me their time, which is a huge privilege for me. And there were times in the past where I crossed that line because I was trying to make myself look cool. And Rick Ashley's wife did call me out on that one. And she was brutal, but
oh, really?
I felt like I went for a breakup for like 3 days. Like, I was like,
Oh, you just felt like
no,
shit.
she called me out big time on on my character back then, man. It changed me.
Like, so she sent you a DM or?
Yeah. WhatsApp message, yeah.
Right, like basically saying what?
Oh, dude, I won't go into too much detail.
Well, no, please do.
But she was like, you're just trying to look cool in front of everyone. You didn't respect us. And like I said too on the post, I said Rick Ashley's wife, and she's like, I'm his manager too, but you just said wife, you didn't say manager. And that everything she said was right, man. I was going down a rabbit hole, and that woke me up big time, bro. I've never been to Bridge since then, but holy heck. And I have followed up recently and was left on scene. So I feel like Rick Ashley is never going to happen again, man.
But you're going to keep trying? You're never going to give him up?
How ironic the song too, man. Whenever that song plays now, all my mates just turn to me, and it's almost fun. But I look back and I go, look, I was dumb. I made a mistake, but this life, I learned from it.
One of the best lessons, I guess, like moving forward for you with what you want to achieve.
Oh, dude. And thank goodness it was thank goodness it wasn't Justin Bieber that I burnt that bridge. It could have been a lot worse, man.
You can die happy if you make it to 10,000 without Rick Astley in there. Like,
I could have burned a big bridge with like Obama or something and be...
All right. Well, if Rick Astley's wife happens to stumble across this video somewhere,
I have grown. Please, please.
He's sorry. Give him another chance. What about Tony Hawke? How did that come about? The world's greatest skateboarder.
Oh,
ever.
dude, that was fun, man. I had cold email. Team came back straight away going, yep, Tony can do this. Hopped on a Zoom call with him. And again, for a good story, I did it at a skate park. And I had a crew filming it, so it was me sitting on like a ramp. And that dude is cool, man. He gave me a lot of time. And I think that was what was special about that is my mate Nate, his hero growing up was Tony Hawke. He's a skater, and like literally his hero is Tony Hawke. And I was able to bring him along and then introduce him to Tony at the end. And it was special, man. Like, I think I've kind of gone to a point where I'm like, I'm so lucky I get to be in these situations. And if I can make someone else's dream come true at the same time, it's special. But yeah, bro, I mean, I grew up with Tony Hawke. I think everyone my age did. So that was...
Well, in terms of skateboarders, like, he's the only skateboarder that has really like crossed over and become fully mainstream. Like, everyone knows Tony Hawke.
Yeah, man. It was like one of those guys I didn't even really reach out to because I always just assumed it would be like a no. And I just send a cold email. It's so weird. I think timing is everything too. You know, you might get a no, but maybe it was just a bad time. Maybe the team was, you know, the PR person was having a bad day, or maybe they're just crazy busy that week. And I think it's just a timing thing. That's why you just got to keep sending the emails.
100%. And also, one thing that like any sort of entrepreneur will know, or anyone that's just got that sort of that instinctive like persistence or drive. No's it's a horrible word to hear, but it loses its impact very quickly the more you hear it. Totally. And when you realise that it holds very little power, it's fine. You can just sort of get, you know, it doesn't actually sting after a while.
It doesn't, man. And I find people don't say no, they say unfortunately. So when I open an email now, I literally instantly I look for the word unfortunately. When I first see an email pop up, I instantly go, where's the unfortunately? Because I've got it so many times. And every now and then you don't get the unfortunately, and it's an incredible feeling. You're like, oh my gosh, what? Yeah.
So what about Richie McCaw? So you met him through the Wiggles.
Yes.
Had you tried to get him before that?
Yeah, man. I actually had his manager message me after multiple emails saying Richie will not do this. And then I wonder if 2 years later, I was...
I wonder if his manager had even passed the message on.
I don't think so, man. Yeah. I think most of the time, if I get directly to the person, it's usually a yes.
Because I think a lot of managers, a lot of managers are paid a percentage.
Yeah.
So 0% of nothing is it's nothing. So there's nothing in it for the manager.
Totally,
do you know what I mean?
Totally, man. But you know, I was just backstage with Richie McCaw, and I was filming an interview for the Wiggles thing with him, and I knew that was my moment because it was just me and him, and I had him on camera, and then I asked him, bro. But that was pretty cool, man. Being able to do him, Dan, like Bowden, like kind of ticking off all those All Blacks is pretty cool. I feel like that was the first, once I started cracking All Blacks in the early days, that was the first like, holy heck, I'm now cracking All Blacks. Like that felt like a crazy win, you know? Yeah.
Have you had any technical difficulties or equipment fails where you get back to the airport or something and you realise, it's erased or it hasn't been recorded?
Yeah, man. I filmed a monk stream in the early days, and I went back to my computer and the sound was like, so I never posted it. It was like proper monk kit, everything. It was pretty cool. I was filming Terry Crews's stream in February, and I had 3 cameras going, and I wasn't sure how long the conversation was going to go, and it ended up being like a 50-minute conversation. And one by one in the chat, I could hear the cameras die one by one, and the first camera was like, doo-doot, and I was like, okay, I've lost one. 10 minutes later, doo-doot. And then I had one camera left, but it was such a great chat. I didn't want to interrupt and stop. And by the end of it, when he finished, I had 1 minute left on battery in the last camera. So that was a very close, nearly.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Terry Crews, for anyone that doesn't know, very famous black actor, the Old Spice guy, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
White Chicks, man.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Oh, dude, absolute legend.
Incredible. I've heard him on the Diary of a CEO podcast as well. Like, not just a great comedy actor, but a very deep thinker as well, with a hell of a backstory.
Incredible story.
Yeah, so cold email or?
Yeah, bro. I just woke up one morning and I was like, you know, I really want to get Terry Crews' stream. And I sent him a cold email, and 20 minutes later, he got back to me and was like, yep, let's do it. 1 week later, I was in his office in LA.
And what can you remember much about the chat or what his dream was?
Dude, he shared his whole story, man. Yeah. It's such a powerful story. He was in the NFL in his 20s, and then he left the NFL to pursue an entertainment dream. Because he said his dream when he was a kid was to be famous, but he didn't know what for. And he was 32 years old, and he was sweeping floors, and he was married with 2 kids. And they were dead broke in LA. But they were just pursuing this dream of, I'm going to be in entertainment, but I don't know what for. And then he got an audition for this game show, and then suddenly, and it's just an incredible story about just doing it. And his wife just was like, I'm backing you. We're going to go for it. We're going to go to LA. And he said they weren't living in LA, but his wife said to him, we could be broke anywhere. So why don't we be broke in LA? So they went to LA and they just made it, man. And he just shared his whole story. And it was that moment that I then went to my wife and I was like, we have to move to LA. And like, we just have to do it. He's totally right.
How did you get your wife on board with this?
Oh, well, when we met, I was well into it. We met in 2021. So I was very deep into it. She's been the greatest supporter, man. She said when I went to LA in February, as I was leaving the house, she turned to me and she said, Fraser, go and conquer America. And I was like, and dude, it was like I had a superpower that trip because I was like, my wife, like, sent me on my way and I'm like, I'm going to go and conquer America, man. She is there's none of this without her, man.
Yeah. How did you guys meet?
We were set up on like a blind group date and we chatted for an hour. And afterwards, I got my mate to record me on an iPhone talking to the camera saying, hey, everyone, this is our future wedding. You're at the wedding right now. Hi, everyone. And I just knew, bro. I was just like, dude, record me. We're going to get married. And I proposed 6 months later. And then she made me wait a year before we got married. So
Did she? Why?
Because I moved fast, man. Yeah, I would have been married, within 6 months of meeting her.
Yeah, I suppose if you're gonna spend the rest of your life together, there's no real sense of urgency. Oh, that's really cool. And how's your mentally? Are you in a good space now? I know. Man. We sort of we grazed past this earlier. So so you did this thing every day for 5 years. Regardless of what was going on, I've heard you say before, through the crumbling of your first marriage, every damn day you were doing this.
Every day, man. Yeah, bro. Like the day my first marriage ended, I went and filmed a dream. Like there was no days off. Didn't matter how low I was, I had to go and film a dream. I'm in a way healthier place, bro, because I've kind of let go. I've let go of so many things I was holding on to, like the Peter Jackson dream. I was comparing myself to so many people at the end of last year, bro. I genuinely was thinking I was doing terrible work, and I was like, why would anyone care about what I'm doing? Look at what this dude's doing over here, And it was probably February when I really feel like I embraced who I was.
February this year, man.
So
like 6 months ago.
It was that LA trip when all those crazy doors opened. I haven't really felt comparison since that trip because I've kind of just embraced who I am. Which is like the greatest thing when you just go, well, this is me. I'm never going to be that person. And also, I don't want to be that person. If I could swap lives right now with Peter Jackson, I wouldn't. So why am I trying to be Peter Jackson,
Why did it take you so long to realise that? Ashton Kutcher, when did he tell you, why?
May last year.
May last year. So why did it take till February this year for you to listen to what Uncle Ashton said?
Well, I should call him that, Uncle Ashton. It's because so much of my life identity was surrounded around being a Peter Jackson and winning an Oscar. I'd almost...
Because there's even a clip on your website of you on What Now when you were like a little boy.
Yeah, bro, Studio 2.
Studio 2.
And they were even like, the next Peter Jackson is Fraser Grut, da-da-da.
How old were you then?
I was 12 years old, man. Yeah. Dude, the next day at school, I felt like an A-list celebrity after that, bro. Being on Studio 2 back in the day was like, dude, people were like, whoa, man, crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think it's so easy to like hold on to your dreams from your childhood and your teenage years going, well, when I was 12, I was going to be a skateboarder. I was going to be Tony Hawke. And then you kind of just hold on to it and you almost feel like a failure because you never achieved it. And it's got only turning 29, 30 that I kind of realized I was never meant to achieve that. That wasn't who I was meant to be. This is like, I don't even know how to explain it, man. Like when you truly just embrace your own personal dream, it's easy to hold on to the dreams your parents might give you or your friends go, oh, dude, you're so good at this. You should be this. So you spend the next 10 years being that until you realize, I hate doing that. I never wanted that. I'm only doing this because my parents said I should at 16. And I feel like I grew up with everyone going, oh my gosh, filmmaker, you're going to be Peter Jackson, you're going to win Oscars. That was almost like my ego thing. I am that guy. And I don't want to be that guy anymore, man. I want to be this guy. But it took way too long to let go, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. You're still pretty young on the big scheme of a good, long, healthy life.
Yeah.
There's a thing I saw on TikTok. It's probably a little bit cheesy, but it resonated with me. It was the line is something like, every person gets 2 lives, and the second life begins when you realize you only have one.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what it was, bro? I think it was at the end of last year, coming out of this Wiggles doco and having a tough experience. That whole experience was very tough.
Was that why?
Riddled with imposter syndrome. Also maybe feeling like I didn't have much of a voice. You know, I was the young buck. I was 20 years younger than everyone else in the team. I was just so green, bro. I knew nothing coming into that, and it kicked my ass in a great way. But I think I put so much power my whole life into other people. Oh, I will only achieve this when this producer opens this door for me, or I'm waiting for my mentor to make that connection before I can, you know. And it's almost like I wasn't allowing myself to do stuff. And at the end of last year, it's almost like I woke up one day and I went, you know what? No one else is waking up in the morning going, how am I going to make Fraser's dreams come true today? I am the only person on the planet that is waking up thinking about my dreams.
100%. No one's coming for you.
No one. If it's only going to happen if I get out of bed and go and kick down the door and make it happen. And that freed me up like crazy, because I almost freaked out at how long I'd spent in my lifetime putting power onto other people. And then it was November last year, and then I just, I booked a ticket to LA, and I'm like, I'm not going to ask permission. I'm just going to do it. Usually I'd ask my mentors going, hey, do you reckon I should go to LA? And they're like, oh, well, what if... I'm just going to book one. I'm just going to show up and see what happens. And I ended up at Scooter Braun's house for an hour, all because I showed up at his office. And that only happened because I had that realization that it's on me to make this happen. And that freed me up. And that's probably my one life moment, I think.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, I was going to say, it seems like you're in a really good place now, but then... Yeah, to me, every time I've had an interaction with you, it's been the same Fraser. So I wonder if even when things are going bad internally, if you're good at wearing a mask.
I am. I'm so good at wearing a mask, man. And I probably when I meet with people, I'm probably really good at asking questions because I'm so curious and I love asking questions that maybe I don't ever share where I'm at.
Yeah.
Even like a month ago, I wanted to quit 10,000 Dreams. I had a 2-week period a month ago where I was just... no motivation, bro. I was a proper rut. And I was just lost, directionless. I didn't want to film any dreams. I didn't want to edit any dreams. I've come out of that since, man, but I'm great at wearing a mask, bro. Because, I feel like sometimes too, when I meet people, they want hey, what's your dream, Fraser? And I always have to be the guy that's like, yeah, you can do it. What's your dream? And I am naturally like that, but I definitely wear a mask, man.
What's the Kiwi way, eh? Like, people ask how you are, but I mean, it's often easy just to go, all good.
Yeah, bro.
Rather than go, actually, I'm having a fucking terrible day today.
Totally, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Well, I'm pleased you're in a good place. And also, as I've alluded to in this chat, like, I think people are buying into your vision, and that's why you're getting this buy-in from so many cool and so many diverse different people. But if you ever decide it's not your vision anymore, that's cool as well.
Yeah.
Like, if you ever decide, wake up one day and you're at 4,000 Dreams and you decide you don't want to do it anymore, no one's going to be bothered, man. It's your life.
That's a great point, man. And it's a life mission. There might be more hiatuses along the way,
Yeah, so you don't beat yourself up now if you go for a week without doing one?
No, not at all, bro. It's
you're quite relaxed.
Way healthier now. And I put more into the quality now. So I try edit them in a fun way now, and I put way more effort into them now than I ever did. So for me, it's less dreams now, but more quality. And look, dude, I want to be filming dreams in 50 years. I want to be filming my grandchildren's dreams, I don't really want to be done in 10 years. I love the idea of technology evolving and life evolving. Imagine doing this at 80, filming, your grandson when he turns 21. How freaking cool would that be? And having your whole life documented, because it's kind of like my life journal in a way. My whole life since the age of 22, every day pretty much has been documented. And when I watch a dream, I instantly remember everything that happened around that. I remember being at Edgefest, meeting you and running up to you. I know the door we were standing outside. I know where I was then. It was a big deal for me filming your dream, bro. I think filming like you and I think it was Clint as well, and I think JJ I filmed on the same day. Dude, that was a big deal, man. It was.
Well, mate, it's been really fun. You being a spectator in this this passion project of yours. It's been really cool, and just the evolution of things. It's like you don't know where this is going to take you, and I think that's part of the exciting thing, right?
100%, man. Like half the stuff just opens up overnight, and I think I'm available and I'm ready for opportunity. I think that's a big thing. Is I'm prepared to jump on a plane in 2 hours to go film Obama's dream in America for 2 minutes. If it opened up, I would be prepared to do that. And so it's just so exciting, man. Like me and my wife's life is just so like it's so random, man, because there's no consistency. You know, like we're literally going to America for 2 months and then we're going to Europe, England afterwards, and we kind of don't know where we are. We don't know where we live. We're kind of just on the road, but it's just an adventure. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, you're making the most of it. Have you guys got kids?
No, not yet.
Oh, yeah.
No, it'll be way harder.
Luck with that. That's going to...
We're milking it until we have kids, bro. I think that will change. Do you have a kid?
No.
Okay.
JJ and I had, we were together, we had there was a family adoption, like a fostering situation, but yeah, he's an adult now, so he's all good. But
awesome.
Yeah, I was unable to have my own kids, so the family adoption was a good experience. But friends of mine that have had kids, I think it'll be interesting to see like the transition or where the Dreams project sits when that comes along. Might have to go on the back burner for a little bit, but that's part of the fun of life, right?
It is, man. I think that's why the Irwins are so inspiring for us, because they continued doing what they did with kids, with babies. I mean, imagine that, man. Imagine having like your 6-year-old coming to every dream with you, and getting to a point where your 6-year-old's holding a handy cam, or even asking, what's your dream? And I'm filming it, you know? Like, that's definitely a dream for me.
Well, I love that. You're a good dude.
Thank you, man.
Your enthusiasm and positivity is infectious.
Thank you, Dom.
And whether it's continuing on this journey or it's something else, I'm so excited, man, to see what you do in the future, because you deserve all the rewards that come your way.
Dude, that means so much, man. Thank you. And I absolutely love what you're doing, bro. You're great at this.
Well, thanks, Fraser
Grut. Keep going, man.
Yeah, will do. Thanks, bro. Love your work.
Thank you, man.